Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, woman murdered in Falmouth. The body of a woman was found with her gunshot wounds along Duke Street in Falmouth, Trelawney this morning. She is yet to be identified. Head of the Trelawney Police, Deputy Superintendent Winston Milton, told the news that residents heard explosion and called the police. He said when the police arrived, the body of a woman was found on the ground in blood with gunshot wounds. Milton stated that the victim is suspected to be a sex worker, as the area is known for such activity. The police have been focusing on Seaboard Street, the usual place where sex workers gather, so they have moved to other areas to ply their trade. Man killed, another injured in Utria's gun attack. The St. Anne police are probing the shooting of two men, one fatally in Utrias last night. Dead is 45-year-old Shane Matadine, otherwise called the King, of Norbrook Acres Drive and Mahogany Beach in Utrias. The injured man is a 26-year-old unemployed of an Old Harbor St. Catherine address. It is reported that about 10 p.m., residents near Mahogany Beach heard explosions and summoned the police. Matadine and the other man was found suffering from what appeared to be gunshot wounds. They were assisted to the St. Anne's Bay Regional Hospital, where Matadine was pronounced dead and the injured man admitted. New Haven St. Andrew residents protest the fatal shooting of teen by police. Upset residents of New Haven in St. Andrew this morning mounted a roadblock to protest the shooting of a 17-year-old male resident by the police early this morning. They have accused the police of acting in cold blood. The deceased teen has been identified as Devon Hall. According to the residents, Hall was shot in the vicinity of Corville Gardens on Washington Boulevard around 4 a.m. They claim that he was then allegedly dumped by the police in the Doheny Park Market, which has since been declared an active crime scene. The police's information arm, the Constabulary Communications Network, has not released an official incident report on the matter. Meanwhile, the roadblock has since been cleared by the police. Despite the efforts of police to disperse the crowd, the residents have remained steadfast in the area, demanding justice for Hall and answers from law enforcement. Fiery two-vehicle collision in St. Anne leaves one man dead, another injured. A man from Trelawney died as a result of injuries sustained in a fiery two-vehicle collision along the Salem Main Road in Runaway Bay, St. Anne on Tuesday morning. The deceased has been identified as Daniel McFarlane of Rio Bueno. Reports indicate that McFarlane was driving a white Toyota Mark X when, upon reaching the vicinity of Joel's Hotel, the vehicle collided with a black Toyota Crown. McFarlane's vehicle reportedly burst into flames. The driver of the Toyota Crown was taken to the hospital. Investigations are ongoing. JLP St. Anne Northeast MP Marsha Smith has resigned. Jamaica Labour Party Member of Parliament for St. Anne Northeast Marsha Smith has resigned with immediate effect. The announcement was made today in a statement from the Office of the Prime Minister. Prime Minister Andrew Holness thanked Marsha Smith, who is the Minister of State in the Ministry of Education and Youth, for her service in representational politics. Smith was elected to represent the constituency in September 2020. The seat is expected to be represented in the next general election by Matthew Samuda, who currently serves as Minister without Portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, who was presented by Holness as the JLP's standard bearer at an event in the constituency last year, November. I have known Matthew for many years. I consider him my younger brother. Matthew is a natural politician, said Holness at the time. I am confident that Matthew Samuda will be a very good representative for all the people of Northeast St. Anne, he said to thunderous applause. The announcement of Samuda's candidacy followed at least a two-staged protest by constituents against any continuation of Smith as the party's standard bearer. Opposition proposes removal of tax on basic food items. Opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson, has suggested the reduction of tax on basic food items to alleviate the cost of living crisis in some Jamaican households. There has been public groaning about the increased cost of goods and services. Mr. Robinson says inclusive economic growth is imperative to allow the majority of Jamaicans to benefit.
Immediately, I think you have to look at basic food items, determine whether there's some that you can look at the GCT and whether you remove GCT and have exemptions on other expanding the group of food items that you would remove GCT on. That's one. You have to strengthen the social safety net. I had raised the issues about PASS. The government is undertaking a review. You have to ensure that the persons who are most vulnerable actually get the support that they need and in a meaningful way. But ultimately, while you have to protect the most vulnerable, you have to ensure that you grow an economy so that all Jamaicans can benefit from that growth. Investment in agriculture, we have to expand irrigation. Only 10% of our lands are irrigatable. We have to put more money in research and development so that farmers know what to plant, when to plant. They can be more scientific in their approach. There are other sectors which provide opportunity for growth, like logistics, like culture, and the creative industries.
Despair at a Christian East primary after student killed in crash. What was meant to be a gleeful second morning of the new school year started on a somber note at the Christian East Primary and Infant School in Manchester as reality sunk in for teachers and students that 10-year-old Trayvon Sanchez would no longer be among them. Trayvon died in a crash Monday while on his way to school. An emotional Garcia Rattray Arancibia, his social studies and research teacher, described Trayvon as a sweet kid.
He was one to always challenge something. He always has something to say as a rebuttal. He always questioned stuff and he wasn't afraid to ask anything. He was very confident. But for me, it was just the vibes. I'm the vibes and he was just my little vibes. He's a sweet kid. It was devastating. It was devastating. We tried to be strong initially, but then we broke down last night. I couldn't go home. I just drove until I went to Mandeville yesterday, and then this morning driving back to work, and I just passed the scene and saw the Alright. They're not taking it well. They're trying to be strong, but adults would know more than children. But they are trying to do the best they can to cope with the situation. But it's very difficult. Life just cut short and nobody saw it coming, Then I saw this video where he was probably modeling his new shoes, and I was anticipating that he would come, and he pull up the foot and show me the shoes, and he was that kind of kid. So it's just sad to see that he had that video done. I did not get to see any of it.
Trayvon and his mother, Constable Cabrina Crawford, were en route to school when another motorist overtook a line of traffic and slammed into their vehicle. Constable Crawford has been admitted to hospital in serious condition, while the other motorist is in police custody. A representative from the Ministry of Education's Region 5, Marsha Fennell Bell, said that the team has deployed all the resources needed to support the students and the teachers during their period of mourning.
Our regional director, Mrs. Susan Nelson-Smith, she was here yesterday as well with a team of us from the Ministry of Education. Today we are here again with the educational social worker, and we will be providing psychosocial sessions for our students, grief counseling for our teachers. Our school principals have also been providing support by allowing their guidance counselors to come to the school and offer the requisite support.
Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.